The arraignment of Senator Dino Melaye, what is your view of it and its treatment?
Well, it depends on the perspective we want to look at it. But the problem we have in this country is that the majority of us are never honest. And as a matter of fact, instead of looking at an issue in a very holistic view, we have to look at it, okay, I'm a PDP member, I'm an APC member, and at the end of the day, this will affect our reasoning. Now, police have a right to arrest. Yes, they have. They have arraigned him in court. Yes, they are still within the confine of law. But looking at the undertone, the problem we have is not the arraignment or the arrest as it were. The problem is simply that the government, the executive government under which the police operate, they are not a sincere agency. That is the problem we have. The government is not sincere. Because if the government is sincere and the government is honest in its dealings with the citizenry, you look at it, okay, fine. Why would an ordinary member of a citizen, an ordinary citizen, jump out of a vehicle when he believes that he's in a safe hand? The duty of the police is to protect every person in the state. That is the duty of the state. But where you don't feel secured, people can jump out. And that is why all of this happen. The government, as it were, will only obey the law where it suits them. And not, they'll pick the law only where it favors them. And they will leave, you are all in this country, a lot of court pronouncements against the government, federal government don't honor it. They don't even honor the court pronouncements. On the case of Dazuki, he was granted bail. He was not, the government did not even honor these pronouncements. The same thing in the case of the leader of the Islamic movement, Malam Ibrahim.
Exactly.
Court ordered that he should be released, but the federal government did not honor it. So if somebody is now trying to jump out of vehicle, do you want to see that person as an unreasonable man? Because he knows the country. The government are never sincere, but the agency is not sincere.
Mr. Tunji, some of the opinion that Senator Dino Melaye should have told the path of honor by actually appearing before the Nigerian police when it was declared, prior to his being declared wanted. But there was this dramas, these issues that border on his personality. Senator Shehu Sani was called by the Nigerian police, and he appeared.
Yes.
Why did he refuse to go in the first instance? Shouldn't he have done the same thing? Perhaps he would have been looked at from a personal recognition. Sure.
Well, what I read, the information I got, at the point of time he was invited, I read online that he went there. He actually saw them. So he was on his way traveling out on an official assignment to Morocco. That was when the NIS arrested him. He could not go for that trip. Immediately, police picked him up. So I was told that, yes, I read that he attended the police invites. But, even that is what I was saying. It still borders on the same issue. The police are never honest.
So it all boils down to
it. All boils down to the
executive recklessness in this area.
That is it.
So are you looking at it that there is a political undertone as far as this issue is concerned? Does it have political undertone?
I don't belong to any political party, so I want to talk as a statesman. For me, for my opinion, the federal government have never obeyed the rule of law they seek to promote.
That's serious. Let me ask you, what's the legal view of the treatment of criminal suspects? What does the law say?
Yeah, the position of law is very simple, and then this is not today that it's not the first time we arraign criminals and all that. But what we think is this. If you arrest a suspect, you have a stipulated period to arraign such a suspect in court. Fine, the police, within that time, they are still acting within that time. No problem. Funnest thing, like I said, it's not a bad thing that you are arrested and you are arraigned. But we look at it for a growing democracy, for an economic like ours, will you say somebody who cannot even stand, okay, by the time you say you arraign somebody in court, you want to have, the court want to put it to the person, are you guilty or not guilty? What in position when the person cannot even talk? So what does it cost you to wait, allow the person to be in a very good mental state of mind, then arraign the person? That is what we are saying. I have not said, okay, they don't have a right to arrest. You can arrest, you can arraign. But during, what is the procedure of this arraignment? You are going to put, the court will put question to the accused person, the suspect, as the case may be. Are you guilty or not guilty? Which the court will want to record the response of the suspect. But where an accused person is not in a state of mind, is not in a well-being state of mind. So what does it cost the police to wait? Let him get his treatment and then arraign him. And that is why I said the federal government, the state, the police, they are not sincere.
There's been call for an independent institution responsible for investigating rights violation by police, right? The Nigerian police. What's your view on this? What's your take on this?
That there is a department under?
There should be
a department,
an independent institution to investigate the rights violations by the Nigerian police. What's your view on this?
Well,
because it seems the police themselves seem to be their own investigator. Shouldn't there be an independent institution?
The problem we have in the country, it's not about creating agencies. But the truth about it is whether we want to do the objective of creating that agency. NDLA was in this country before codeine became a problem. So it's not about the creating an agency, but it is all about whether we are sure we want to achieve the objective of the intention we want to create. So it's not, for me, having so many, the police, if the police function the way police should function, there is no need creating other further agencies. We don't need further agencies. But the problem is, there will always be a misfocus, or, they wouldn't just know what they are created for.
So what do you think should be the way forward in this regard? How do we cope? If this can happen to a sitting, serving senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you can imagine what happens to an average Nigerian on a daily basis.
Well, for me, I'm even happy this is happening, because this is what happens every day to an ordinary Nigerian. This is what happens. It's quite unfortunate that it's now happening to a senator. But this is what happens every day. It's only because those ones are not celebrated. So what I think is that let the security operatives, let the FG, let the state sit up to their responsibility. They are saddled with only a singular responsibility. That's to protect the citizen. And if the citizen you are to protect, you are not the one abusing them, then perhaps we should change what we call democracy to autocracy.
Are we back to the military era? Some are of the opinion that the way things are running
as it were in the country, we are no, if we have about 3-4 precedent cases to this, then automatically if a court, there is division of power, we have the judiciary, we have the legislature, and we have what? The judiciary. And each function has to play its own role. The executive, they are there to do what we expected of them to do. The legislatures are there to promote the law. And what is the duty of the judiciary? To interpret the law. Now, when the judiciary is interpreting the law, and the executive, who have assented to this law entirely, could not obey this law, then what are we talking about? It's even as good as military coming in. Because once a military passes a decree, they follow it.
What do you say about the reactions of Nigerians? Nigerians, under normal circumstances, will have probably gone to the streets demanding for, that Senator be free, Senator Dino Melaye be freed. Why haven't you seen that kind of an uproar?
That's why
from even advocacy groups and rights groups?
Where you see it, that's why we say people like us who are more of an advocacy practice, that's why we say we are kind of happy that it's happening, because we see this every day. This happens to an ordinary Nigerian. An ordinary Nigerian goes through this tussle with the police, with the security operatives every day. You would be surprised that even Nigerian military will arrest and detain ordinary citizens. So now, because it's happening to a senator, so we should carry placard. This is what is happening every day. It happens everywhere. So if you go to an average Nigerian and you're talking about the case, they look at yes, sir, is it because he's a senator? This happened to my cousin, this happened to my brother. So it has become a normal thing. And that is why we think the government should sit right, should look into issue of stop abusing the rights. It's a fundamental human right. It's inherent, it's coherent. You cannot separate a human being from these rights. So it's quite pathetic.
Some have also blamed the legislative arm of government in this regard by saying that we have not been holding regular public hearings into the conduct of the Nigerian police force.
Well, the recruitment exercise, thank God we are all Nigerians. We know how the recruitment exercise goes. Okay, just this morning when I was coming, I saw some people in white in the Nigerian, at the police place there. But I was just shocked that when was any announcement, or I was even asking a colleague in the car that did you hear about police passing out, like is there any public hearing that they want to recruit policemen and all that? Suddenly that's where it happens. It's like that. The problem about the legislature is this. I do not know. They say they represent a constituency. You represent a constituency you do not even go to have meetings with. So how do you want to represent the opinion of people you do not consult with? And that is how a law can pass. They can pass a law. And an ordinary citizen in that constituency thinks, I don't even know what this law is. I don't know. Because a representative who ought to come to the constituency to discuss, to do a public hearing in his own local way, failed to do that. And debating about it. He's being financed to do this. And he has failed to do it. Who talks? Nobody. Everybody thinks it's just the way of life. But this is not the way it should be. But this is what is happening. So it's our system. It's our system.
Finally, Mr. Tunji, what should be the minimum standard for the treatment of criminal suspects in Nigeria, if not to prevent a reoccurrence of this kind of?
Usually we used to have the CPA, we used to have the CPC. All this law codified together, we have the ACJL now. Now the position of law is this. The new law that we now have introduced good measures, has introduced good ways of treating or handling criminal cases. In fact, one of the new introduction, like one of the new protesting we have in the law is that before you can even take a statement of a confessional statement of an accused person, it has to be recorded. And it has to even be in the presence of a legal practitioner. But is that the way it is in practice? It's not like that in practice. But we have the law. The law also says, okay, when you are arresting, you must, why will it get to a point where you use handcuff? It is when that suspect is trying to escape or trying to evade the arrest or something. That's when you use handcuff. But on the first day, even ordinary on invitation letter, police come and they put you in handcuff for an invitation.
And that's wrong.
And it is wrong. So are you now going to say those laws are not there? The laws are there. But do we practice what the law says? So that is the challenge we have. We have all these laws. In fact, we have animal law. We have dog law. All these laws are there. But the point is, all these agencies, do they follow the law as it were? So that's the challenge we have.
So on a lighter note, and finally, do you see Senator Dino Melaye coming out of this unscattered?
For me, Well, I'm not his counsel, but I think it is the duty of the prosecutor to prove his case beyond reasonable doubt. And as far as the law is concerned, a suspect or in the criminal or the northern jurisdiction, an accused person is presumed to be innocent until it is proven guilty. That's the proviso, a landing proviso in our law. So for me, I think he should come out, and he will come out fine. It is the duty of the state to prove their case, whether he actually has nexus with the offense that he has been charged for. So it is their duty. And I wish them best of luck in it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tunji.
Thank
We really
you so much,
appreciate your insightful analysis.
Thank you so much.
We hope that we could call you on another time.
No problem, sir. Thank you.